Well, to discuss the significance of this agreement and what it could mean for relations between Washington and Tehran, I'm joined now by Siavash Soltani, Iranian political analyst, Secretary General of the Iran National Front, and founder of the Universal Liberal Union. Welcome. Great to have you on the show. A very interesting situation, this, isn't it? With both sides claiming victory. But when you look beyond the rhetoric, who has actually come away with the better deal, do you think?
Well, behind the rhetoric, I would say that it is not a clear history for other sides. But Iran has the upper hand at this stage. Iran gained economic bracing space, access to some frozen assets. Right now, the reports say 12 billion upfront and up to 24 or 25 billion dollars on the next stage. And temporary sanctions relief for 60 days. And Tehran actually gained all of it without surrendering its main positions. Not any agreement, clear agreements on highly enriched uranium, on the future of uranium enrichment right itself, whether it's going to be banned totally or limited to about 3.5%, or about the actually timeline of it being banned for 10 years or 15 years or 20 years. And not any agreement on missile capabilities and their range. So I think here US just gained the reduction in escalation and the diplomatic channel and possibility of renewing monitoring and technical talks. So my conclusion is simple. Washington gained the diplomatic process, but Iran has the upper hand.
Well, we've been hearing a lot of messages coming from Washington and Tehran. We've got Donald Trump saying that military pressure has forced Iran to make concessions. We've heard Tehran saying that they got their sanction waivers on oil without compromising on their core principles. Which interpretation would you say is closer to reality?
Well, I think Trump is correct about one thing. This military pressure actually led Iran to come back to the table. And before, Iran was not doing, and Iran was not accepting to come back to the table. But actually, Iran returned to the table without surrendering its positions. And it did not actually surround itself on position like regional policy and proxies or missile capabilities or uranium enrichment, right? So I think both of parts say partly true here, but it is not the same as Mr. Trump says.
When it comes to Iranian frozen assets that are allegedly about to be unfrozen, Americans are saying that those come with conditions attached. Now, would you say then that these funds are a genuine concession, or is there something more there?
I think in the short term, there are meaningful relief. and they could actually impact. But they are limited, you know. Uh, Iran right now have access up to $25 billion and temporary oil sanctions relief for 30 days. That it actually impacts its hard currency and actually gives domestic bracing space. But they are not the same as some
We're having some sound issues there. Siavash, can you hear me clearly?
yeah.
Yeah, I can
Sorry.
hear you now. Please go on.
But yeah. But it is not the full removal of sanctions and economic normalization. So I would call it a real relief, but not real normalization.
Well, one thing that Iran has been adamant about is that its missile program is off the table. We've heard US President Donald Trump say at the G7 summit in France that everyone has to have some missiles and that it wouldn't be fair that Iran hasn't got any if Saudi Arabia has some. Does that tell us that there are hard limits to what can be achieved through this negotiation?
Yes, absolutely. You know, missile program right now, it's one of the hard limits of this process. For Tehran, missiles are not just weapons. Missiles are part of Iran's deterrence and regime security. And Islamic Republic believes if it negotiate its missiles program away, actually it puts its survival in danger. But for Israelis and Persian Gulf states, they actually Israelis see this as a main security danger, Iranian missile program, and especially after this war, Persian Gulf states consider it as a practical threat to the civilian and energy facilities in the region. So I think this missile program is one of the hard limits of one of the main hard limits of this process.
And Siavash, if this latest agreement does indeed hold, what do you believe comes next? Do you see a start of something more significant between Washington and Tehran, or is this just another pause before a new flare-up?
You know, for now, I consider it as a pause, rather than beginning of a real transformation. A real and bigger transformation will actually happen if both parts could address deeper issues like highly enriched uranium enrichment, right, missiles ranges, and regional policy. But for now, both sides define success differently. So Washington wants actually Iran's nuclear and regional power permanently restricted, but Tehran wants sanctions relief and not losing its tools that it sees as its regime's protection. So I think this agreement may reduce the risks and danger in the short term, but the confrontation can easily return.
Siavash, thank you kindly for joining us on Primetime and sharing your thoughts and insight.